course.
Hey, Corey, were you guys able to decipher on the sideline what happened on those field goal tries?
No, it's just small things, like small things in the process when you're kicking that, it doesn't turn out the way you maybe practice. So it's like just got to execute better. Go out there
Was it a consistent issue with both of them or separate?
No, there were slightly two separate things, so like it's different hashes, different angles. I hit them well off my foot, good trajectory, good height. It's just about playing your angles a little better, right? So make sure it goes to the direction you want it to go.
This is really the first time in a preseason game you've kind of had to bounce back from some adversity. Does that feel different?
I do have high expectations to myself. I don't like to not perform the way I want to perform, but that's a part of being a gamer. You got to come back, you got to bounce back. You cannot drag that stuff into your next one, regardless, of what happens. So you got to be able to come back, keep a calm head, and execute the way you want to execute. So,
Corey, is it different maybe when you're with the Ravens? Everyone knew that Tucker was probably going to win the job and all that. Was that less pressure than maybe now? There's been so much focus on you and everything and kicking for the Vikings versus maybe for the Ravens. It wasn't as high pressure of a deal.
I don't believe so. No, I'm not truly aware of what, how I'm perceived from the outside in. So I kind of keep my eyes on the practice field and on what I do. Everything else is kind of just like outside noise that you're not supposed to read into. So regardless of when the Ravens are here, I just keep focusing on what I got to do.
Do you have a routine or anything special you do to take off on this? Is there anything that you personally like to?
There's more so processing what happens when you miss, and then and a good pro can tell what he did wrong because he's done it so many times, repeated the same motion, especially with something like kicking. So you got to just come back and make sure you don't do the same thing twice, right?
Corey, on that first touchdown in the fourth quarter, Mike Zimmer said he went forward with the 2-point conversion beats analytics. Were you under the same impression as to why they didn't go out there for a PAT?
I don't know. No.
You didn't think he was trying to send you a message after missing the field goals?
I don't think so. I don't know. I'm not sure about that. No, I don't know.
Corey, you've heard a lot from coaches about trying to get that holding part of the field goal operation down and change holders and stuff. Were the holds all right on the two that you kicked the field goals?
Yeah, they were good. Yeah, so a lot of stuff we go back to the practice field, and we look at tape, what happened, and then we sit down and go out in the practice field and get back to it.
Corey, you're obviously in the running at punter as well. How do you make sure that this doesn't affect your work in that competition?
What do you mean?
You're also punting,
right,
for this team. So how do you make sure that the kicking and the punting, stay separate? One doesn't affect the other.
They are two separate things. So I don't think kicking is kicking, punting is punting. So I don't think it doesn't really translate over to the other one. Mm-hmm. Two completely different mechanics.
Yeah.
So.
Is that difficult though, focusing on two different things? It's not like you came in here and they said you're going to be the kicker or you're going to be the punter.
Right.
Unless you know already. Do you know already which one you might be better suited for, or what?
Yeah.
Is it difficult focusing so much on two? No?
No, it's kind of what I've done. It's for the last 3 years. That's kind of been the norm for me, and that's how I approach the game in itself. And much so like saying in college, I was doing it all. So it's never really been a pure distinction for me.
Is it a thing where